Today on the podcast, we have Patrick Moreau. We dive into his background in psychology, and we talk a lot about permissionless thinking. And that's what his new book is about, and how he runs his mentorship program. And it's really incredible to see how he thinks and the ways that he thinks differently and how he pitches projects differently and basically shows filmmakers how to not just be a number, not just be a camera with a tripod and a day rate. I think the biggest thing that got me interested in just like even reaching out to you was the most recent thing where you
Yep.
posted something about AI and creating cinematic films, and now it doesn't cost as much to even just get your idea together, which was cool. And I've been noticing that too, and I think it's helpful to have these tools now to be able to see a vision without having to spend an exorbitant amount of money.
Yeah.
And so, how have you been using those tools, like the AI tools and Weavy and all these forms, to help your storytelling?
Yeah. So I think I have to kind of answer these in two minds because there's the muse that like makes feature films and does $100,000 to $250,000 commercial films, and so there's like how do we use them?
Right.
But then there's where my heart is really deeply, which is empowering other storytellers. And so, like even the post that brought us together is just trying to help educate people around what's possible today. But to kind of start, I guess probably where you were originally intending of like how are we using it? I think that there's often a larger disconnect between our vision and the stakeholder on the other side's comprehension than we
Mhm.
understand. And so
Right.
we think that like when we put the pitch together or we told a great story or whatever that they get it. And then when we get pushed back on price or timeline or what hurts us the most, creative, we often have more of a like victim mindset. Oh, they don't get it. Oh, like that kind of thing. And I think the opportunity now is to really step into how do you just convey what is up here so powerfully that they get it, which now is getting you premium pricing, full buy-in, creative everything. And so like more specifically, I have a client that we work with last week who was asking about doing something with their CEO end of year, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
this is a guy that they're like, he runs a multi-billion-dollar company. So they're like, we don't know when the shoot would be and we don't know like where it would be. Could you make it happen? Right. So you're coming up with, and they're like, and we want to find a way to get employee engagement. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, these are the kinds of problems I like.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
We don't
uh,
know when it is. We don't know where it is. Let us know
and,
how you want to do it.
and can you bring in a way that it isn't just him talking to camera, but like it feels
Right.
like, you're talking to a 35,000 person workforce. And so we had an idea of like, yeah, of course, we'll go and we'll interview everybody in different offices and we'll queue up the best questions. And then so I had a creative idea. Now, if
Yeah.
I just put that in an email and you're dealing with people who are great at what they do, but like creative storytelling, filmmaking is not their thing, right?
Right.
That was 2024, maybe even early 2025. But today, if you have a vision and you're
Yeah.
just putting bullet points, you're just leaving money on the table because you're leaving comprehension, buy-in, whatever. So instead, I went back to the CEO video we did last year, pulled a still frame, moved it into VO3, animated the concept. So their CEO was reacting to their employees. So I
Got it.
pulled their employees, I pulled their CEO, I created a dialogue where it's like, you know what? I always wanted to know, like, how do you travel so much and stay connected to your family? And so it's their actual employee asking the question. Then he laughs and he responds. And here's what gets really wild. I modeled the response based off his interview. So it was his actual dialogue. So now I'm
Ooh.
actually giving them,
Okay.
here's where we could go, right? This is not like just theoretical pie in the sky. I'm like, I've modeled your CEO's brain. I've taken, and so I sent them, it was 30 seconds. Like
Yeah.
and I probably spent, because I have systems, couple, 15 minutes making the thing.
Yeah.
But can you imagine that delta? That's the opportunity today. Like instead of a bullet point email, they felt the concept immediately. And now when we're asking for $100,000 to do an interview with the CEO, like
Yeah.
you can imagine last year when we threw out that number, they're like, but
Yeah, they
isn't
just
it
see a
like
number.
$1,000 to get a camera to come show up?
Yeah, they're
You
like, "We
know?
could just rent the gear, right?" Like,
Exactly. And so like you do get, of course we all run into that sticker shock of like, wait a minute, why? And so if you want to, be a strategic partner, if you want premium pricing and value-based pricing, it's like you have to be able to deliver something that people get like that. And so it just changed the conversation completely. And it wasn't at all about price anymore. Like it
yeah.
was just like, okay, now how are you going to executionally pull this off?
And I think that's the way to look at it, is you're using it as a tool to help convey these messages that originally it was just like reading an email, looking at a deck. I mean, so many people have looked at so many decks, and I think they're just they're over it. And so when you have this new view that you can
Mhm.
basically show them the real concept, it's incredible. But do you think that when you do stuff like that, is the response usually good, or are there people that are like, "Whoa, you just did this whole thing in AI and you showed our CEO talking with AI." Like, are they weirded out by it at all?
Uh, no, is the short answer. But I think more strategically, it's the difference between selling and enrollment. Like, we're not
Mm,
pushing anything on anybody. We're
right.
enrolling them into a broader vision. And this thing, which is, what you're hearing a lot of kind of thought leaders talk about around, like, it's just a tool. Like,
Yeah.
if you think of it like a camera, it's just a really good camera that anybody can use, and you don't need to know the settings anymore.
Right.
If we think of it that way, all of a sudden, a lot of the pushback goes away. So, I focus a lot on enrollment and how we frame it. So we don't even talk about how we make this stuff. We don't even talk about any of that. Like it's just, hey, I wanted to make sure you got this, so I just threw something together so you could really feel the power of it. And I'm selling the vision. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about how I made it, but I'm making it clear. Like we're not going to market with this. I'm not at all
Right.
suggesting,
Totally.
but when we're only going to get 30 minutes with your CEO once a year, I want you to know that we know exactly what we are going to do. And that's what it did. So um, I will say we have had resistance for sure.
Yeah.
Like voice cloning was a big one, where um, we've had clients where a product name changes, a price point changes, you get a stat wrong, and at the beginning it was the pure like no, but like let me go pick it up and do it right, you
Yeah.
know. And so we started just going, okay, well here's the cost to just have somebody come in and film it and do it right, even if it's an audio pickup,
Right.
or we'll just take care of it, entirely, and you don't have to worry about it. And then I would include it. I would
Yeah.
actually go like, "Oh, the team mocked it up for you. Here, it's done, or we can do it this way." And objections gone.
Yeah.
And then the question never came up again. Now,
Right.
then it became, "Oh, could you just tweak this for me? Could you?" So I find our clients have had, and even our community members, they have had resistance, and I think it's philosophical resistance because they're seeing it as a threat to their own humanity, which I understand. But
Mm.
then when you start to see it as a tool, you start to go, oh, well, great. Like the thing we were trying to do is better communicated, and I can go to market today for less money, and the essence of it is still true. And so there's a delicate dance there, but I do
Yeah.
think that with proper communication, framing everything else, you can go totally the wrong way, and it can be a race to the bottom where you're like, let me make, you'll see all kinds of stuff on LinkedIn today about,
Oh, yeah.
you can create 100 pieces of content per day, blah blah blah, and that's just
Yeah.
the algorithm acting on the algorithm, making more noise that like,
Yeah.
who wants that pointing back to them? But I think with the right setup it's easy to enroll people, and I found that the objection happens once, then they're like, "Let's try it," and then they're fully on board going, "No, no, no, can we do it that way instead?"
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have clients that do the same thing where they've seen it, but they've seen all the things like you just said on LinkedIn where it's just like 1,000 clips of just random AI generated UGC talking about products that they never even
Mhm.
touched. And like I get that. Like that's scary because it feels misleading. But
Yep.
I think when you're using it as this tool to help sell through and also show the different ways that it can be used, it's it's something that's just a useful tool and not a danger to, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I've looked at it before and been like, wow, this is going to take a lot of jobs, but I don't think it's going to take away the human experience and the storytelling, which is like what your team focuses on a lot too. And I think
Well,
that's where
yeah.
it's huge.
My honest take on, and a lot of people listening to this are not gonna like this, but
I
what
don't
is
know.
most
Maybe.
confronting to most people is that you now have to have something to fucking say.
Yeah, you
Because
do.
because any old idea I can scrape from Google or ChatGPT isn't good enough. Any basic or even cinematic move or camera or this or that, like, none of it now stands out. So the
No,
technical barrier has just been completely eviscerated overnight, and now what's left is the most confronting part. What do I bring to the table? What do I have to say that nobody else can? And I will tell you, we run a mentorship program for filmmakers. And so like so much of the fear right now is like, how do I compete? What do I do? How do I pivot
right.
my business? All of this. And they get, everybody in our program obviously very much gets you need to have a perspective.
Yeah,
Like unless you are looking for day rates, which, like, we won't help you with. If you're looking
yeah,
to sell yourself as a day rate, that like, we can't help you there. If you're looking for strategic partnerships and value-based pricing, but they'll get all of that. Okay, I need to solve problems, value-based pricing, speak to the broader objectives, but then it's like, "But what do I have to say? What is my unique perspective?
right.
What do I do differently?" And it shackles people. Like, they
Yeah,
really get stuck with, like, "Hold on." And I think this is where social media and LinkedIn and all this stuff hurts us because you go on and you see all these people who are prolific at posting all of this stuff. And I'm very much guilty of this as like
yeah.
an offender where you
Same.
you can look at something and you can be like, well, but like I'm not as good as that. I can't do
Yeah,
that. Or like I can't whatever. Therefore, the fact that I've been a teacher for 7 years and I care about my community and this like that's too small to care about. And they don't understand that if you just owned that, you have more work than you could ever dream of, but you have to like actually have and own that perspective. So uh I think that's kind of the reckoning we're facing is people are having to go like, what do I stand for and what do I bring to the table? And then if they don't know what that is, it can manifest itself as like, oh, the tool's just terrible.
yeah,
And there's a lot I don't like about AI from an environmental standpoint, from a we are outsourcing our thinking like we did with a GPS and driving. And like,
yeah,
what is the analogy? People start driving off cliffs because they're
yeah,
following a GPS. That is going to happen here where you've outsourced your thinking entirely. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Bad things are going to happen. So there's a lot of challenges I have, but as creatives, I think we need to realize that now is the time to sharpen your perspective, have one, and double down on everything in your business.
yeah,
Positioning around it, valuing it, leading with it. Like that is your unique advantage.
yeah. It's basically being human. Double down on being human and understanding what you believe in because everything's just a tool now.
Hmm.
And like you said, the whole like it's like going back to directors who made some like amazing films. They wanted to be known for the feeling that people got when they watched the film and the story in which they got. There's all these famous directors talking about that.
Yeah.
They don't want people to remember like, oh, remember that car chase scene where the camera like flew through the window of the car? Like nobody high up even in Hollywood wants to be remembered by camera moves before AI. And so now, like you said, it's flattened and
Yeah.
it's like technicalities, it's like it is what it is.
Mhm.
Cameras, whatever, you could use whatever tool you want.
And look at
It,
it to your point, look at it the other way. Go
yeah,
look at a Steven Spielberg or Quentin Tarantino and like follow their origin stories and look at what they didn't have
right.
in what they created. So it's like the those with perspective and the ability to create, we'll find a way to do it with whatever tools we have. Like that hasn't changed. It's just who's really going to thrive in this era are the ones that, are able to do that. And for sure, like the other side of having a perspective and having something to say is then what do I want to bring to the world? that's
Yeah.
more than a car chase that looks amazing and, you know what I mean, all kinds of shit blows up. But, like, at the end of the day, what kind of change or issues or, like, what stuff am I looking to tackle? And that can be equally challenging for people because 'cause they're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know how to find these answers, and the time's ticking, and I have no time, and I've got 40, like, 7 unread emails from clients, and, like, I just don't, and then this stuff changes every day. I'm just so
Yeah.
overwhelmed. What the heck do I do?
It's hard to keep up. I mean, I feel it as a director and a production company owner, but, like, I
So,
can't imagine
how
if
do
you're
you do it?
just I mean, for me, a lot of it is figuring out my channels that I want to focus on. So, like, where do I wanna focus my attention on besides the actual production? Like, how do I wanna market myself and my
Yeah,
company? And a lot of that comes down to where does my muse or my client hang out? What do they think about? What
and
is
when you say
their
your muse, are you talking about us, how we personally inspire you? I'm just
No, I'm talking about, like, when you think about your client, I mean,
Yeah,
this is how I think about it at least, is I put them in a space where they become the muse that I'm speaking to.
yep,
And so I'm trying to think of, like, where are they hanging out? What do they wanna see? And if I don't think that they realize what they wanna see, I figure out the way that I wanna show up and the
yep,
way that my company wants to show up. And a lot of it is trying to stand out by, like you said, doubling down on what we know, what we do best, and why we can get certain clients. And a
yep,
lot of it comes down to being human and also staying connected and networked with people. And I think
yep,
that's what's helped me at least grow my career is just being real with people and following the path of, like, connecting with people about, like, just who they are, not
yeah,
necessarily like, "Hey, what's the next project? Cool, we're gonna get done." It's like checking in on some of these people, and I'm not
mhm,
saying you have to, like, go to coffee with everybody and, like, hang out, but, like, I stay in touch with a lot of people just to stay in touch
yeah.
because I think that's huge in this business.
Yes, I think you're touching on something that the top creatives in any field and even leaders, entrepreneurs get to, and it's unfortunate that not everybody does, where it's what I like to think of as um, an outcome independence.
Yeah,
And so much of what we do early on in our career is outcome dependent. So if the opportunity looks big, I show up big. I might do a better pitch. If I have a big budget, then I'm going to, like, try more. If I think that the client has work next year, then, like, I'm going to try and do the thing. But everything I'm doing is reactive to the outcome I'm projecting or expecting. And as you grow and develop as a founder, leader, creative, all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but I think there's a point where you can let go of it all,
yeah,
and you find a calm inside of, like, your perspective, where I will show up to meetings now and, like, confidently pitch a $250,000 project with 0 attachment if they say yes, because I
yeah,
only want them to work, like, I only wanna work with people who actually get who we are, and if it's, like, feeling, like, off, I'm not at all trying to, like, sell and pull back in. I'm
right,
actually like, "I can hook you up with who can do what you want," and that's
exactly.
so alarming for people. They're like, "What? Hold on," you know, I'm like, "No, like, no, I know the person that can do this at that budget and what you want and everything else, like, let me," um but showing up in that way with a complete outcome independence to everything you do is magnetic, right? So, like, you following up with people without necessarily having to be about something is
Right.
one of the easiest ways for people to get new business.
Yeah,
Or get more revenue, I should say, not new business. You're often just getting more business from old clients, but we just don't get nurturing or retention, and so we're
yeah,
often like, "Where's the next person coming from?" And we make it so much about, well, no, they have to have a project in mind instead of, "Can I actually just deliver value?" If I just deliver value to 5 clients consistently without needing a contract, like, just keep being their partner, who are they gonna call when they need something?
exactly.
And if I helped you for 3 months, absolutely with no outcome in mind, when you do come to me and I give you a proposal, are you gonna tell me it's too, like, are you going to question my value? Like,
Right.
that's what I think people don't get because it's all interrelated when you just show up fully and lean into adding value, being the partner, and getting away from this day rate mentality of like, um, a big thing we tell people in our community is like if a client asks you to do edit, like some revisions and it's over scope or
Yeah.
all these, the little pickups that can be like a little bit, and we get a lot of people questioning like, well, the client wants this, it's out of contract. Like, should I bill them 350 or should I do like 750 or like that kind of thing? And my advice is always the same. Never put day rates in anything. Never reduce yourself to a day rate.
Right.
Give the shit away. Be a partner because you
Yeah.
need to play the $10 or $100,000 game, not that. And the moment you give them anything, like the edit revisions at 350 for whatever, now you've put a number on your time and they're seeing you completely different versus like, we have problems come up all the time and I will write two, three, $4,000 checks to solve it for them and not at all, and just be like, "I understand where you need to go. I understand that we're not gonna get there like this. It's solved, and I will
Mhm.
solve it for you." And, like, that's the partner I choose to be, and who would you call back? The one that's doing that or going like, "Well, the technically we're on our 3rd revision, and so it's gonna cost you" you know what I mean? Like, there's just a total different way of showing up.
It is. And when you start doing that, you slowly lose people. I mean, I've seen it before way back when I first started, and we'll do the same thing. Like, you're in it for the long run. You're
Yep,
in it for the bigger projects, but you're also there to help as a partner, like you said. You're not here to nickel and dime people. Yes, your time is worth a lot, and you want to make that known, but you do that through the value that you're giving the people that you're working with. And I think there's a lot of people who will come back on that and probably hear this and be like, well, your time is worth money. You can't give it away. And I mean, I've done it recently and I will still do it. Like, I'll help people out if they need
yep,
something really quick. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. No problem. We can do that. Like, not a big deal. And then the next project that comes up is larger.
yep.
And there are people online that will hear this and they'll say, I'll never give away my time for free. But I think it's this incremental thing, like you said, where you're building a relationship. You're not building billable hours.
And there's I think there's an important distinction. I'm not giving away my time for free. I think you and I both agree we're not giving away our time for free, which that argument is, "Hi, Sean. I want you to come over and film this thing for me, and I have no budget. Will you do it for free?" The answer to that is no.
Right.
Like if you're just saying, "I have something that's valuable to me, and I don't want to pay you, and I don't value you," yes,
Right.
the answer is no. But we're not saying give your time away for free. We're saying actually help people with shit. And guess
Yeah.
what? If your friend needs something, do you always go like, "Oh, well, hold on, who's picking up the tab, or are you going to pay me?" No, you
Yeah.
genuinely help them. And what we miss completely is that the largest relationships in business are when you show up and you genuinely give a shit. Who do
Yeah.
you want to write the biggest check to? Somebody who actually has your back and cares beyond just the dollar. And we don't get that. And so we get lost in this whole, well, but I'm just giving away my time. And it's like, no, you're showing that you really care. And if you do, then you're actually just solving their problem. And it
Yeah.
wasn't about how much you got paid. And again, we're back to the the same discussion, outcome independence, right? Like I let
Yeah.
go of that and where it goes, and exactly what you see happen all the time, right? Where they invite you back and the project's
Yeah.
bigger and all of that. So, are you familiar with the victim versus victor mindset?
No.
So, I think this is where a lot of people are getting lost, and really when something bad happens, so, as creatives, um, the client, just kills our creative,
Yeah.
47 revisions. The
Yeah.
victim
Yeah.
mindset is like, "Oh my god, they just don't get it. They don't understand story. Like, they don't love my vision. They just wanna sell the product. They just care about facts," like, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
That is putting it on them and everything else. And that mindset works because it is safe and it is comfortable and it's all out there. But the cost of that is that it's out of our control. Whereas the victor mindset is no matter what happens, what could I have done? And so then all of those changes come in, And you naturally have your victim moment where you're like, oh my God. But then if you reframe that as, where did I not position my idea strong enough?
Hmm.
Where did I not communicate this well enough? How could my strategy have been stronger? All of a sudden, it completely changes the conversation. Not that that's going to change this client relationship, but that's not the problem. We need to fix the next, like everything else that's coming down the pipeline. And when you have that victor mindset and you really own it, all of a sudden you start going, wait a minute, does my website mention cameras and day rates? And then does my pitch start lining this out? Like, have I actually, if I was honest with myself, been talking about myself as a tripod every single step of the way? I didn't want to own it, but like, yeah, I actually am. And now that they're telling me what to do, maybe it started from the very first contact when I
Right.
didn't make it clear that I'm your strategic partner and I showed up that way.
Right.
And so it's that victor mindset that is confronting for people because the cost is that it's hard.
Yeah.
But the benefit is that you're in full control of everything. No matter what happens, all of a sudden it's like, yes, now I will change this outcome moving forward. And when people get that as a creative, and they can move from that victim to the victor mindset and really put in the work, there's a leadership rule: sometimes them, always me. And it, like,
Yeah.
if you can just embrace that overall, like, no matter what, give yourself the, like, your team let you down, your producer let you down, your DP, your client, your whatever. Sometimes it was them. Of course, like,
Yeah.
you gave them a lighting plot and they didn't do it, or you asked for something and they didn't schedule it right or whatever. But if it always comes back to you from a victor mindset of, where could I have been better? Man, that's a game you will always win at and you will always get better at, and people will start getting attracted to you and they'll start, like, you know, wanting to do more work with you and everything else. And it's one of the hardest things to do, but it is probably one of the simplest unlocks, if you will. That, like, if listeners just did this
Yeah.
consistently, like, audited every week and just looked at their victim dialogue and turned it into a victor and then actually did the work to reconstruct. This is how we take filmmakers from $3,000 to, Kevin and Annie just closed 3 retainers at over $100,000. They have 2 more in the books. Like, I have people text me having $200,000 last month,
It's amazing.
and they're going from day rates. But it's like, the biggest difference, they owned all their outcomes.
Yeah. And is that how you changed your career? Because I know, like, at one point you were probably, I mean, just reading a little bit about you and a little bit about your
Yeah.
profile, like, you call out that you bought your first camera at a Best Buy on the way to a
Yep.
wedding film that you were filming, and now you've done all kinds of incredible work, Emmy award winning. And so, how did you shift from that
Yep.
tripod for hire to what you are today?
So, uh, this is great timing. I don't know when this is going to come out, but uh, I am about to launch my book at our summit end of this month, and it's
Awesome.
about the idea of permissionless thinking. And I believe that, like, as I've sat with, like, what is different about my journey versus like, what do I have uniquely to say? It's about this idea of permissionless thinking, which is that so many of us wait for other people to tell us it's okay when we're the only ones that can grant ourselves permission. And so my story, um, I've got a psychology background, and
Okay.
I would be the one that would go and try and, like, pick up people at the bar using psych studies, and they would laugh at me, and it was like, oh, okay, hold on, like,
Did it
I
work
went to
ever?
no, no. I wouldn't even get a response. They would, like, laugh
Yeah,
and just turn. Um,
nice.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. So I learned quickly, like, that kind of communication doesn't work. And I didn't know it as story at the time, but I started to learn, like, hold on, there's a different way I can communicate the same information, and all of a sudden people will be interested. And so I started studying this obsessively, and uh I got asked to do a wedding because my roommate saw me studying it and somebody just wasn't going to show up. And so they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, my roommate does it." And I'm like, I got no experience. I haven't shot anything, but sure, if you've got nobody, bought a camera at Best Buy on the way to the wedding, and it just unlocked something in my head. Again, permissionless though, right? Like, I'm not a wedding filmmaker. I'm not even a filmmaker. I just
Right.
told them, like, if you're okay with this, and in some ways you could consider it luck that like I got the opportunity where I could just do the thing without having to deliver anything, like knowing that I could completely fail. But it unlocked something in my head going, oh, this is going to finance everything I want to do, anything and
Yeah.
everything I want to do. And I didn't care about being a wedding filmmaker. I was a psychology student. I cared about people. So I started leaning into people. And the third wedding I did was JC and Esther. It went viral, but then Canon, the camera company, saw it. And literally, I'm sitting at my desk in Mississauga. I'm a second year university student, and like the phone calls, and it's like, "Hi, we're calling from Canon," and you think it's like a survey or something, right?
Yeah.
You're like, "No, hey, we wanted to know. We saw this thing you did online. What did you shoot it with?" And something like an XT1 or 3 or something like that. I forget the
Yeah.
model. But I shot it on Canon, and so they're like, "Will you come and meet with us? We are interested." Um, they wanted to hire me to make a commercial with the camera that was a wedding.
It's
And
crazy.
then when we got in a room and we talked about the cost and what that would take, they were like, "Let's just turn your wedding into a commercial." So
Yeah.
I'm second, third year university student. Imagine this, sitting down at home watching Grey's Anatomy or House on TV, and your wedding film comes on as a commercial for a thing. So
Wild.
all of a sudden in my head, I'm like, okay, I do not need to wait for anybody's permission to like go where I want to go or do what I need to do. Like so many other people
Right.
are like, I wanted to be a wedding filmmaker, and I've got to wait in line. And I was just like, there are, you can open any door you want for yourself. So then Canon started sending me prototypes to test. And so you get this like cute little white box, no manuals, no whatever. They give you 72 hours and same kind of permissionless thinking of like, what do I do with this that is just like full on taking myself on? And over the 72 hours that I had the prototype for, I was to do a filmmaker or a photographer promo, probably worth $4,000 at the time. And I didn't think that that was gonna be interesting enough for a prototype camera, but the
Mm.
photographers were doing a wedding while I was filming their profile. So I was like, "Oh, can I call your clients and give them a film for free with the prototype cameras?" And same deal as before. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know,
Yeah.
and I have 0 obligations to you. So I will give this to you if it works, and if it doesn't, no problem. They're prototypes, right? Of course, they loved it. They're like, "Yeah, we wanted to do film." Then they looked at our work and everything else. So I filmed it by myself, 2 prototype bodies, edited it, like, in my hotel room, like, I couldn't sleep. Like, it was just like
Yeah.
I saw the thing, right? Um,
It's
had to
awesome
get
when you get
approved.
excited about a project like
Oh,
that.
it just I could see it, and, had to get approval from, like, Canon Japan to post it because it was a prototype. Uh, it went viral, and the National Football League saw it. The National fucking Football League
Just
was
keeps
creeping my video channel, Vimeo, watching a wedding film, and they saw it, and same thing, except now the phone says the National Football League. And I swear to God, I answered the phone, and I'm friends with Ray Roman, and I thought it was him. I thought he's a big wedding filmmaker. I thought he was like fucking with me. Like,
Yeah.
come on. The
Yeah.
NFL doesn't cold call filmmakers, and they
Off of
said,
wedding films too.
right? Canadian. We
Yeah.
have the CFL, man. Like,
Yeah.
and on the call, they said, "Look, we like how you tell stories and that you understand modern technology, and we want to see how this would fit, if it would fit, to one of our games. Are you interested in coming down? We'll fly you in to do a Jets Chargers playoff game. Show us what you can do." And so, like, it's this permissionless thinking stacking on itself, right? Where it's like, I bought a camera on the way to a wedding at Best Buy, and then I just started doing wedding films the way I would want to watch them, which
Right.
are about people, not the venue, and then Canon, and then the NFL. And so when I get this shot for the NFL, I'm all access on the field. It's the end of the game. And I think they had just, there's a last minute touchdown and the quarterback's going. And so the NFL producer is like, go, like, get in the locker room. You've got to go interview like the quarterback, the blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here looking, and there's hundreds of media chasing the quarterback into the locker room. So my immediate reaction is, you're telling me I have one chance to show the NFL what I can do, and you want me to go where everybody else is going?
Right.
No way.
No.
So I stayed and filmed them picking up garbage. And I know that sounds so out there,
Okay. All
but I
right.
wanted I showed the stadium getting cleaned up and made it about the fans' experience. And so we started with the stadium, like, and the result of an
Mm.
epic game, and then we rolled back into the morning of outside, and then we kind of went through the game. And so we told it in a very different way. And again, this was nobody was willing to risk their job. So this was a pet project. They paid us to go, but like it wasn't going on air. It wasn't whatever, right? Sent it into the NFL. Um, I don't know. Somehow it got hundreds of views internally just at the NFL, and it landed me a 200-day shoot contract. They came back and they were like, "We love like." So again, wedding filmmaker, psychology student, and the NFL's handing you a deal going, we'd like to hire you for several hundred days to make a TV show, Hall of Fame, Super Bowl. Like, I'm now all access Super Bowl. And that's the point when I had to walk into my thesis advisor's office and go like, I think I'm not going to do this. I think I'm going to follow this film thing. Um, but every single step along the way for me has been about permissionless thinking and not waiting for somebody else to tell me it's okay to not go where everybody else is going, or to lean into my vision, or to do things the way I wanted to do them, and to just show up fully and do it. And when I express that, and I do get obsessive about it, I won't sleep and all, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get back from the wedding and edit it because I see it. Um, but that went from weddings to national commercials with Canon to 200-day contract with the NFL to CBS seeing a wedding, hiring me to do a shoot. Same thing, didn't sleep, cut a piece. And this isn't about like hustle culture. This is just like I see the thing. You get it as a creator.
It's passionate.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I get the same way. You get passionate about what you're doing, which means that you're in the right space.
yeah. And so just saw Army Navy. They gave me one shoot. Saw that sending them an email with screen grabs of like, here's how it went. That's average.
Yeah.
They're looking at doing a feature length documentary. They're considering who's going to be a part of it. I'm going to make sure that if they do the movie, there's nobody else they're going to consider. So I cut them a sizzle reel. I sent them a sizzle reel. It landed me the director of photography role for a movie called The Game of Honor, which went on to win 5 Emmys, including Best Sports Documentary of the Year. And so it's like, whew, like everything took off, but it's the same pattern over and over again, where it would have been so easy to show up as a camera and in day rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go film this? You want to make a movie? Okay, well, it's 3 days, and so $1,000 a day plus my camera, so it's going to be like $3,600, and you know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's like you absolutely could have done that, and then you'd what? Send them a hard drive with the footage, let them know that it went well. If you go ahead with the movie, I'd love to work with you. Like, that's how most of us would approach it. Whereas
Right.
I'm like, I don't care about the day rate. I like none of this. I want the movie. So I'm on the plane tomorrow. I'm on the Humvee in an area blurred out by Google Maps. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm shipping the thing because I'm not going to talk to you about day rates. I get it. Let me help you make this movie. And now, uh, now we got these statues behind us, because of that kind of thing. But it's just that permissionless thinking. And that is, I mean, that's led all the way to $2 million in funding for our own original documentaries that I've closed directly with people who just believed in the vision, literally wired me $2 million and said, go make it. So like, that's how far this stuff can take you when you can create a strong vision, enroll people in it, and deliver. There's this is not selling shit you can't do.
Right.
Like
100%.
value-based pricing is about delivering value and actually being able to deliver on it. But yeah, that's my story.
And now when you're delivering this value, like, so you're saying no day rates, no, like, this is what it costs to come there for 3 days. So say like NFL type thing where they go to hire you. Are you even putting a cost on the table? Or is this like, sure, I'll be there. You show up, you shoot the thing, and then there's a cost afterwards, or there's a partnership afterwards?
Oh,
Like
no, so
what
yeah,
goes
yeah,
into
yeah.
these things so that, because like, I think when I'm thinking of it and you're telling me that you're not trying to attach a price to yourself, how do you obviously make money with it besides like hoping that you're going to get the thing because you showed you were the best fit?
So yeah, no, that's a important distinction. The CBS opportunity, the director that called me had 25 Emmys to his name, and I wasn't, and I don't know that I probably did charge him for it. I don't know, but it was never about that.
Right.
That didn't matter.
Right.
Um, Now the NFL, like that was $25,000 or something. And so like the test shoot, so it wasn't like I'm not giving these things away,
Right.
and that was 7, 8 years ago, and I understand this way more than I did then. Now, as we have these conversations, um, I'm looking at the value that I know we will uniquely deliver as a composite with the value to them as an organization. And
Hmm.
sometimes there's a mismatch. Like sometimes, and I'll be direct with our clients where it's like, we got asked to do something the other week where, I wanted $50,000 to do it. And I'm like, but you don't need what I'm offering. Like what you need is like, you actually just need to hire somebody for a couple $1,000s to come and do this. Here's what I bring. I don't do that though. I
Right.
don't operate, like I don't just hit record and do a thing. Like that's not what we do. And so we're like, go hire somebody else. But for example, the consulting client, global consulting client, right? They do multi-billion dollars in revenue. If you think about how much a town hall costs, like for them to get everybody together and have a meeting. So think of the size of the problem or the size of cost for the CEO to communicate to a company like that. It's going to cost them over $1 million for that hour just by wages.
Yeah.
35,000 people, right? So now if you're going, hold on. So you can actually take that message and you can convey it more powerfully in 5 minutes. You've saved us how much in operational costs. Now we can put it on social media and you only want $100,000?
Right.
Like, when you start thinking in that way, it is a steal. But what we often don't do is we don't actually think about the value to them and we don't then communicate it. And so we go bottom up. Well, what was the day rate? What's the camera? What's the whatever? It's only going to take you this much time. So I always communicate top down. What's our goal? What are we trying to drive? What is that? And I don't talk about what that's worth, but I will talk about outcomes and what we're looking to do. And I will price based on that. And I will just give them a number.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this, and this is gonna be $65,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is. Um, and they'll often say, sometimes when they're new to working with me,
Yeah.
they'll say like, "Well, can we get a breakdown?"
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, "Kind of?"
Yeah. Because we often get that.
Of course, I can show you what we're gonna do,
Yeah.
but it's non-negotiable and it's not gonna change anything. But like what will happen, I had problems with Four Seasons. Because they're like, "We've never paid a creative director this much,
Yeah.
and I'm having a hard time paying you because people are going, 'What's his day rate?'" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "It's easy. He doesn't have one."
Yeah.
And so, like, I've had these challenges, and they're like, "Well, you need to show us a breakdown." And I'm like, "Here's my breakdown. You want me to solve this problem? I'm charging you this much.
Yeah.
But here's the upside. I'm gonna answer your call 24/7. If you're not happy, I'm gonna fix it. If it's not delivering results, I'm gonna own it." Like that's we've had so many opportunities with Four Seasons back in the day where they were doing something for $3,000 or $5,000 and it was very camera, tripod. You know what I mean? And we come in
Yeah.
and go, here's what your 4 seasons. Here's a $100,000 vision. And
Yeah,
we
how do
would
you
not
get them to shift that? How
What's
do you
that?
get them to how do you get them to shift that though? Because like I deal with that too, you know? Like you have these clients who are like, "Well, we got the same thing like and we paid 20 for it." And you're like, "Well, we're going to bring different value to this and we're going to bring a bigger." And a lot of people don't see that. And so how do you convince people to change from 5,000 to 65,000?
Yep. So don't play the game, play the player. And by that I mean you have to see the human on the other side that you're talking to. Yes,
Right.
they have budgets, they have whatever else. But what do they also have? Their own career aspirations. They
Mhm.
also want to go somewhere or do something. And if you don't understand who they are and what they want, and you're not helping them get there, then you're not truly a partner. But
Right.
when I went from so this is many years ago, so I think I'm gonna be okay legally. Uh, when I there's, 4 Seasons was doing a pop down event, right? And so they'd throw multi-million dollar parties,
Yep.
and they would hire somebody to go film it. And
Yep.
I'm not saying it was good or bad or whatever, but it was day rate kind of stuff, and it would get delivered 45 days after a party. Sean, when's the last time you watched a party video 45 days after it happened?
Never.
Right? Like, it makes no sense.
It has
And
to be delivered right after.
so I got because I'm a partner, I got sent this as a, "Hey, could you like, what's your thoughts? What's your take?" And I looked at it and I'm like, "Not enough character, not enough story. It's not as epic as the event is. You're taking over super yachts and spending $2 million. This thing should blow your mind,
Right.
and you're delivering in 45 days." And so I called my contact and I'm like, "You need to be shipping this with the press release the next day." And they're like, "That's not possible." I'm like, "I can do it." They're like,
Mm.
I'm like, "Yeah, I will deliver it with your press release, with story, with all of these things." Um, and so now she's like, "Okay, um, right now my investment's about $3,500." And I'm like, "Well, this is gonna cost you over $100,000,
Right.
but it's gonna completely change the trajectory of your event because there's only 200 people on that super yacht. So much of your value is what goes out. And guess what? Your audience ain't fucking reading your press releases, but they
Yeah.
will watch an epic video.
Yeah.
So I will cover the kill fee for that other filmmaker to not show up, and you'll just hire us to do this right." Um, so she agreed. Uh, we did their next 5 pop down events, and the budget kept increasing. The CMO of Four Seasons personally walked in the room, watched the cut at 7 a.m., and like applauded. Were there notes? Yes. But like we're talking brand minimal. Like creative, they love that shit. It
Right.
went live with the press release. Nobody questioned the bill. Like
Yeah.
nobody was like, "Oh my god, we went from 3,500 to over $100,000."
But you
But
provided so much value and you
and
flipped it.
yes, and I could speak to the CMO and I could speak to the head of PR and I could get that, "Here's what you're trying to do. Like here's why you're putting on this event. Let
Yeah.
me magnify your impact. And I know that this is costing you multi-million dollars. So like this is a fractional investment to have the whole thing go so much further." But to your original question of how do we get them to make that jump? Well, the person that I'm working with, I know that she didn't want to play safe.
Yeah.
She wanted to also make her own mark and wanted to actually do stuff that got noticed. And so
Yeah.
she was tired of stuff that was like, it's okay, but, like, I met her at a talk I was giving at South by Southwest where she was like, "I wanna bring more story to the brand." And so every time I would come to her with an idea, she wanted it because she was genuinely interested in actually pushing the brand, pushing storytelling, and seeing what was possible, right? So there's the understanding of it's not like, yes, there's value-based pricing up here that has to work. If you wanna charge $100,000, $250,000, whatever it has to make sense to the organization, but then there's the person in the middle who's making the decision and really is your champion. And that's where it lives or dies. Because when they go to whoever they need to go to change a $3,500 bill into a $100,000 bill,
Yeah.
it's whether or not they go, so I don't know, whatever. And then I'm deferring to you to make the decision. And of course, you're going to say no, right?
Right.
Or I'm saying, we've got to do this. I know it's a little risky, but it could completely change our metrics on what we do with this event. I need $100,000 to blah, blah, blah. And now they're getting a yes and they're getting the win. Like, right? So it's like, it's seeing your stakeholder as a collaborator or a partner in your combined success and knowing who they are, uh, and making sure to understand both of those levels. And that is how multiple times gone from $2,000-$3,000 to over $100,000 in one move. Like
Yeah.
one like, and in that case, we did pay the kill fee. Like
Yeah.
we because they were like, we're already committed. We already have somebody hired. And I'm like, that's no problem. I will pay their fee to not show up because this is too important. Like,
Yeah.
done, problem solved. And they're like, okay.
And how
But it turned into, so much opportunity.
and how do you so like with something like that, you had a space in the market already. So you had the value to show and showcase. And now somebody who's just like listening to this, who's just starting out in this production world,
Yeah.
creation world, how are they supposed to basically give this type of value from like ground level? Like maybe they're just starting out. They have very
Sean,
little
I've
to
had this
show.
dream. I don't know, maybe we can make it happen sometime, because it is the answer and it's hard work and most people just don't want to do it. But like, I want to go so I'll share what I would do, which is my advice to what I would suggest somebody else does.
Yeah,
And I actually want to do
let's do
this
it.
and document it and like make it. It's a YouTube. It's something,
I
right?
wonder if
Like,
it's something that I've been thinking about too. So I'm
um,
excited.
so it's like dropping into a city in Europe with
Okay.
nothing but your smartphone, and we agree on some amount of money. Like basic survival for minimal. Like I want to go Tony Robbins level. Like he gets dropped off in the rainforest with a quarter, right? So I'm like, we are going very minimal, and we have 30 days to build $100,000 cash collected,
Hmm.
no brand, no reel, no nothing. So all we have is this, and whatever we decide to start with.
Okay.
And we have 30 days.
And can you acquire more equipment and more things
You
or
can do whatever
no?
you can do with those things and with
Okay.
this thing.
Got it.
So
Okay.
now what I would start doing is start shipping. I would immediately start shipping. Now I would do it intentionally. So I'd find brands in the city that I like, that I connect with. I like creators, craftspeople, brands that have strong values. I'd find them. I'd show up. I'd offer to just make content for them. And I know a lot of people are going to freak out, like, "Oh, you're giving away stuff for free."
So
Well,
many
guess what?
people.
I need to get my name out there right now, and I'm writing this off as a marketing expense. So every single day, I would be doing 1 to 2 of those because I'd also be wanting to be doing business development and strategy. But I'd be showing up to a business. I'd be like, all I got right now is my phone, so I'm going to make it with that. I can't rely on all the Emmys and awards, so I'm not using that. All I can use is my vision and what I can do for you. But here's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to make a name for myself in the city. I'm looking to change the trajectory of what brands can do and how they can use human, centered storytelling. And I'm going to do it for you right now, today. You can air it tomorrow. So I would do that. That's an easy yes, right? Like I think I could walk in, I could close somebody on that every single day. I'm just giving it away. But right business. Then when I do it, I'm asking great questions. I'm making great content. Now when I deliver it the next day, you don't know me, Sean. I just showed up to your business. You're like, this guy's a little crazy, but the offer was great. He said he'd just do the thing.
Yeah.
And then I send you something the next day and it's remarkable. You're literally like, he did that on his phone in a day. Like you're blown away. What do you do next? Like, what do you as the business owner do in that moment?
You would hire you. You would, because you've created the content that I need and you've created the value that I need as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would be dumb to look elsewhere just because of a shiny portfolio.
So you would either come back to me and go, what else can you help me with?
Right.
Or it's so remarkable. Remember, random dude showed up on the street, told you a good story, said he'd do something with his phone. You never thought you'd hear from him again, and now you have your best piece of social content ever, which I know I can deliver. I don't care what the equipment is. And so then you're also going to tell your friends, aren't you?
Yeah.
The definition of being remarkable to remark. So if we deliver them something that's remarkable the next morning, they are going to start going, they're going to post it, and they're going to go, oh my God, you will not believe what happened.
Totally.
Oh, guess what? I'm going to spin up a new Instagram account and make sure I'm just going to say, hey, when you post it, you just got to tag me. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to start going around to a business every single day and shipping every single morning. And how long do you think before we have a DM with a proposal to pay us? I would say under 7 days, certainly less than 30. This is still passive to me. This is still, we're just showing up, giving, creating value, delivering remarkability. We got to do $100,000 cash collected by the end of the month. Now we're actually becoming more proactive, which means as we're making the content, we are learning the founder's problems. And once we deliver and they're blown away, I say, Sean, you told me you were looking to grow your following by 50%, by the end of the year, and that, you were having some churn issues, right? Like you were losing subscriptions. I've got a couple ideas I could that could solve that. Would you be interested in me putting together a plan on how I could solve that for you? What are you going to say to that? First of all, like that's
Yeah.
my offer. It's
Yeah. I'd
just
love to
I
see the
hear
plan.
you, I understand you. Can I put a plan together?
Yeah. And
Of
obviously, you want
course.
to see the plan. Sure. Why not?
Now,
Doesn't cost them anything.
now enter the thing we started with, showing up with the incredible pitch. And so now instead of a deck or bullet points or whatever, we will go into one of these meetings. We could try and go into one of these meetings at $100,000. We could try and get 100,000 cash collected just in one project. It's going to be easier to ascend and do 20, 30, 40, whatever.
Right.
But I would not have a problem swinging for the fences and go from this to $100,000 the next week, because we let go of the outcomes. We just showed up fully. We showed them who they are. And that's what people don't get. Your website, your portfolio, your pitch, it was all just a proxy for trust and people
Right.
trusting that you could deliver and what you're going to deliver on. And you have too small of a vision and too low trust. And so you're stuck at charging $1,000. If
But
I
here's
can
the
give you
thing.
right?
You're different because you've been through these things and you think differently. So I think you could do it. I think there are people that could do it. And I love this idea. I mean, I would go with you to a city and make it happen. I think we could make a whole docu-series on it,
Right?
dropping
Wouldn't that
into
be fun?
different spots. I'm down. Totally down. I just wonder though, like I could sit there all day, talk to people, pitch to people, same thing like you. I have the trust and confidence built over time. What does somebody do that doesn't have that though? Like you're talking about some people who are just starting out. They have they don't have that. They
Dude,
haven't built that
I
over
bought my
time.
first camera on the way to Best Buy. So, like, I get just starting out, but
I
it's
think you're
still that
built
mindset.
differently.
What's that?
I think you're built differently.
I
I
think
think
I think
there's
di I think I
that's
think
what I mean.
differently,
That's
and
what I
I've
mean.
created that mental operating system that I'm hoping to share with the world at the end of the month.
Right.
Um, I do not think I'm built differently. I think differently, and I've learned to think differently, and I intentionally choose to think differently. But if I'm just starting out and I heard this and I'm like, "That's inspiring, but, like, I can't do that," then slow it down,
Yeah.
start small, but get that one, to have a perspective, you gotta live life. You
Yeah.
actually have to do things, which means you gotta make mistakes. You gotta interview people. You gotta ship things. So start shipping things. And this is where, so one, it's actually just start doing it, like massive imperfect action. But then two, be intentional. Don't just like make films for brands that you love that could hire you, right? Like,
Right.
because we can make the mistake of like it's a passion project, and so I'll go make stuff for like artists, but like artists aren't generally going to hire me for the budgets that I have, and
Yeah.
then the films that I make for the artists aren't going to speak to the brands I want, right? Whereas if I can find the local brands that I care about that are small enough that I can walk in the door or I can send an email or whatever, um,
Yeah.
and I offer to help them. Now, here's where this is going to fall apart. So I think a lot of people are okay with that. They're like, okay, I could find companies that I really want to help. I could create something amazing and develop a relationship, and they'll hire me when they need help. And when I'm done, I can just ask them for a referral. Hey, I just
Right.
did this. Will you help me grow my brand? I think anybody's okay with that. Here's where it falls apart. We don't understand offer psychology. So we
Mm.
don't understand how to write the email or do the pitch when we walk in that room. And so instead we're like, a camera, I'll make you a thing. Like you don't have to pay. And like it sounds like I'm donating to you and it's like a
Yeah.
charity on
There's
my
no
part,
confidence. There's
right?
no confidence
There's no
level.
confidence, but offer psychology is one problem, one solution, one audience. Like it's
Right.
knowing and really going in and being like, I know how to help brands grow through storytelling. And I have a 4-step science backed process that I can use to drive results for you. And I'm really good at helping brands that they get a lot of customers in their community at really connecting and growing through storytelling so that we ignite the community. And I can, and like that now and I believe in your brand and I would love to help you invite more people to your mission. That is a completely different offer than what we started with, like, I got a camera and whatever, right?
Right.
So everything we do is an offer. Like, even if we're giving it away, but we often undervalue it, and then we wonder why people aren't like as excited. Or I'll get people who will tell me, um, oh well, like I tried to do this or I sent it out, but they're not available till next month, or they'll think about it or they're reviewing it. And it's like the response time and their interest is directly proportional to the size of opportunity.
Hmm.
So if you're just like, hi, maybe I can help with the thing, well, yeah, we'll think about that. We might get back to you. We're trying to be polite. I literally had a book on my desk by Christoph Koch, the leading researcher in consciousness.
Hmm.
And I was reading the book and I'm doing a feature length film. And it hit me on Sunday night. This man who wrote this book needs to be in this movie I'm making. Most people would say that's going to take a while. You're going to have to go to
Right.
the producing team. You're going to have to go here. You're going to you're going to have to do all these things, right? But if my thesis is correct, that the response time is going to be proportional to the size of opportunity, well, then I'm going to go right to Christoph. And this guy's been cited. His top study is cited 167,000 times. So I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know if anybody's into research, but like that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not a lot of research that gets right. So one, I can find his email. Two, now if I just write a really good offer that's personal,
Yeah.
like now storytelling, told him a story, what the film is, why he was needed. Then I'm on my couch on Sunday night. This is what hit me. This is why you need to be in the movie. He called me the next day. He called me the next day. His media department approved it by Wednesday. We were with him Thursday that week. The leading researcher on consciousness. No fees, no discussment of any of it. None of it mattered. And you want to know the craziest part, Sean? The
What's that?
institute behind the guy asked if we could tell their story. We didn't even say we did commercial work.
Right.
They're talking about a 6-figure project. They
Yeah.
came to us when we've never seen him like this. Like the way you interviewed him, like we just showed up and we did, and we weren't even trying to sell a thing. We're making a feature length film. But again, it's just like when you get offer psychology, when you get storytelling, when you have these frameworks and systems, you can all of a start. You can start creating whatever result or reality you want for yourself. And then the bigger question becomes, what do I actually want? What is the right
Right.
wall? What am I trying to build? What's the thing that I would actually put unequal attention and focus on and really go at?
Yeah. It's understanding where to put your effort and also how to understand how to reach out to people in a way that is more personal. And you're using storytelling to do
Mhm.
that. And that is why people will respond.
Yep.
And I've found that in all the things that we do too at my production company, the more that we engage and respond to people with real human interactions, the more that people are interested in being a part of what we're doing. It's
Yep.
less likely if you're sending like you said, like, oh, this is what it's going to cost. And we do storytelling and we're really good at it. And we've got a lot of cool camera equipment and we've been doing it for 15, 20 years. Like they don't care about that. They
Mhm.
care about how you interact, the confidence within your pitch, and also just, I think, just being more human, which ties back into that whole AI, all the
Yep.
AI stuff, and like how people are so attached to AI right now and having it do all these tasks for them. And yes, it's useful for certain things, I think, but you're going to lose that human touch and you're
Mhm.
going to lose out on a lot of this opportunity.
Yeah. I learned a few years ago that I used to think that we made videos, that we sold films.
Yeah.
Um, for a long time, that's what I really thought we did. Uh, and then I thought we sold outcomes or like bigger business problems. But the bigger realization was we sell experiences.
Hmm.
And when I realized that we sell experiences, experiences for audiences on your social channel or experiences for you in person when you get to debut this or the red carpet premiere for the film or whatever it is, like that's what people want to invest in. But that's multi-layered, right? Like the experience is what it's like for you to be with me on this podcast. It's also what it's like to be in the room while we're doing the shoot or when we're reviewing something. Like when we get that is the most valuable thing we offer, and now how do we make that remarkable? Um, it's a game changer. I've done screenings with Four Seasons where I surprised them. I Four Seasons them and rented a theater. And so I walked them from their office to a theater and went, "No, no, no, we're watching it here." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like you make it intoxicating to work with you because,
Yeah.
like, it's so fun and you care and you're whatever. And so, yeah, totally with you, and that is the opportunity in the age of AI is leaning into the experiences you create and letting the rest fall away. Like don't talk about it. Don't worry about where it comes from. Like that your client never cared about your
No.
camera or your megapixels or your microphone. They don't care
Right.
about this. They don't want it to look artificial. They don't want it to feel fake. That's on you to solve for the goal and the outcome and the reception. They don't care about the tools. And at
Yeah.
one point, we will cross over. We're kind of there where some of this stuff can blend in and people won't know the difference. They don't care. What
No,
they
they want
care
the
about
outcome.
is the reception and the outcome. And the
Yeah.
outcome, and as it relates to, AI and generating videos and all of that is like, well, if I put it online and you've seen brands get flack for this, where it's like, oh, it looks fake
Yeah.
and you're making it up and you're inauthentic with an authentic message. Well, guess what? I didn't deliver the outcome as the creative.
Right.
Right. So, like you have to make sure that the medium and the delivery methods match the story that you're telling and everything else, but that's still selling outcomes. They don't actually care about the rest. And now it's about how do I just use these things to, honestly, like when we say, let's start over from scratch in a random city in Europe and it's 30 days to get $100,000 cash collected. My biggest concern is that that's too slow. I'm like today, like, come on. We're building multiple businesses. We're
I was
doing an
going to say
online
30
revenue, passive
days.
revenue stream while we're going out and doing service-based business when we're gonna have them compete and we're gonna shut one down at the end of the month. It's just it's ridiculous the amount of opportunity that's possible today when you understand how these things can be a force multiplier for your perspective if you
Yeah. I think the 30 days, like you said, might be too long. I think it's got to be a shorter run. I'm
yeah.
down. I'm down. We could talk about it more offline, but I'm
Yeah.
down to talk
Oh,
more about that.
I mean, figuring out a way to document it, um, like that's been my only. Well, one is I've got to create the window in my calendar, which I can do because I've had this dream for a long time. So I got to create the window in the calendar so that I can go all in for 30 days. But then it's like just getting the constraints built. That is the show, that is the concept, right? Because like to
Mhm.
me, there's got to be a new bank account set up that has $0 and that you as the film team like have full access to. So it's like
Yeah.
like we're proving cash collected. You're seeing
Yeah.
what's coming in out, whatever. All of that kind of stuff. Like figuring out that, if we could figure that out, man, I think it would be wild. to show what's possible and be able to build and create and those kinds of things. And of course, $100,000 cash collected is our pass fail test, but
Mm,
we're not gonna if we get that on day 7, we're not gonna stop. It's
right.
like how big can we go in 30 days? What can we create? And we have no brand, no reel, no nothing. I only get a smartphone, which we're going to use as, yes, it's still a privileged, but at least a baseline that like many of us have access to this. So
Yeah.
now I can shoot and edit and deliver and ideate with this. And if I can turn this into this in a couple days, well, then I can
Yeah.
start selling this.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not even the strategic move we make. Maybe we just deliver on this because I mean we can get to $100,000 with this if we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But that to me is the show. Like the
Yeah.
actual decision making and the building and the deploying. Yeah, I mean
I
we deploy a brand in the first 48 hours. Like we'd
I
have to build
think
a brand and do the whole thing.
I think you could, for the expense side of it, you could do crypto because you can track a wallet.
Mhm.
So you could literally have a wallet be
Yeah.
public so people could see it at zero instead of having like access to an actual bank account and being like,
Yeah,
well, they're showing
but
like a
the
fake bank
problem there
account.
is now we're so one, we're gonna lose people because they don't get crypto. They think it's fake money. They
True.
don't understand it. We did a feature on a crypto
Yeah,
king
I
and
saw
explained
that.
how it felt. But like now we're talking 7 days. We can close $100,000 in 7 days with crypto
I
because
know.
that's just. But it's gonna get dismissed because
True.
people are gonna go, but it's not real money. It's not whatever.
Yeah.
So I
It's
like
fake
the
money.
idea, but I think it would just be too quick and go over people's heads so much. Um,
Mm,
there's so much capital in crypto right now and so much shitty content and brand building. I literally was on the phone with a crypto founder who was building a token and told him it was $100,000 for a 3-minute piece. And he said, "Why is it so cheap?"
it's
Like,
so crazy, man.
right? But
Like,
the amount of capital in that world, it's time, it's opportunity, and then it's trust. Like, are you actually going to deliver?
yeah.
Um, so in some ways, I think that would be a cheat code that would have
Yeah.
us dismissed versus we have to use the traditional economy because that's the rules that a lot of people are playing in. We could
Yeah.
bonus that, like, we could also show a whatever, but, I
Yeah.
mean, I if we start a new account, then the film team can have full access. Like,
True.
you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can give the producer access so they can log in and they can see it and they can do whatever. Obviously, like, if the team's gonna try and do anything to mess up with the mission, then wonderful! That's all part of
Yeah.
the show, we gotta figure that out. Like,
Yeah.
that's the victor mindset. If we just lost $100,000 because the producer pieced out and took the
Then
money, then,
took
like,
it.
great, we got another
That's
7 days to recover.
it's like
But
we have an
yeah.
even better show now.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I'm down. I think it's just coming up with the constraints,
Totally.
and yeah, and I don't know if you get comments or emails, like if we can solicit
Yeah.
feedback, but like
Let's
to
do
me
it.
that would be and I will ask my audience as well.
Yeah.
But basically, like what constraints would you put on this? If we were gonna
True.
do 30 days, random city, nothing but a smartphone, and it's about cash collected. So it's not promises for the future, it's money in an account. I feel like 30 days, $100,000 cash collected would blow most people's mind because I'm using that as most people aren't making that in a year. We're going from net nothing other than a smartphone to $100,000 in a month. So I feel like that's a good setup. But then it's like, what
Totally.
do you want to see? And what are the ground rules, kind of thing? Because like, yeah, feel like if we can get more feedback on that,
Mm.
um,
I think there has to
yeah.
be, obviously, like within starting in that space, you're in somewhat of a struggle. But I think you definitely have to show that, because if it's all like smooth sailing, like you just walk in, you do a couple videos, all of a sudden you're making 30, 40 grand. Like, I feel like as a show, it feels too easy
Well,
to
so then I
people.
guess you're doing the Tony Robbins. You got nothing but the clothes on your back and a quarter. And the quarter, I don't know if it's a myth when they drop them off in the rainforest with a quarter, but that was the elite training was you get dropped off in the middle of nowhere, you have no GPS, you have no nothing, and you have a quarter to make a phone call, right? So, like, I think that's baseline. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you're wearing, no money, so you're also like, "Where am I sleeping tonight?"
True.
right? Like we're bringing in actual, which guess what? Like that's reality for a lot of creatives. They're going like, I got to pay my mortgage, I got to whatever. Like you got to
Yeah.
eat. So
Yeah.
like that human element is like, no, no, no. It's not like I got my bank account to feed me.
True.
I have this, and maybe you give me a charger, maybe not, because even that is like, no, no. I think it's just this, and I've got to find a way to buy a charger or get a charge. And now, like that's my first timer is like when this dies,
Which
like
could be on the flight over.
right? Well, yeah,
Y
I think you
yeah,
can't give
it's
me a
like
flight over already. I'll already have money in the bank, and then you'll be like, yeah, that was boring.
yeah,
So we would have to start in a city, net new,
yeah,
um, dart on map almost. So
yep,
it's like you go to Europe, and then like the city is chosen like through a roulette wheel. So it's like no, there's all hands off in terms of any kind of choosing where you might have a connection or anything, and like
yeah,
then you're deployed to that city. So like getting on a flight and then like 6 a.m. that day kind of thing is like great. You've got this. The timer starts, and there's
yeah,
30 days to basically get to $100,000 cash collected without being able to use any past stuff. All you can use is your perspective and your phone. Um, that's a
I like
fun
that.
game. That's a fun
Yeah,
game.
and I think the phone is wiped, doesn't have any of your Instagram, doesn't have any of your contacts.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you get none of that. You've got to build it up from scratch.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, I would love feedback from either of our communities
Yeah,
on how we one, if you're interested and you want to make it happen, like we would need a film crew in Europe to actually like film the experience, and it would be 24/7. So we need multiple. Yeah, you need a sizable enough crew that can rotate on and off to keep up with the people that are doing the thing, because you wouldn't
exactly.
want people to go to bed at 8 o'clock and then overnight they flip the website, turn the brand, blah blah blah, and like
Right.
you missed it. So, I feel like we need a team of people who could work in shifts and really cover it. Um,
Yeah,
but other than that, I mean, and then 30 days, and then just picking a 30-day window. Uh, but yeah, I'm down. I would
I
love
love
to
it.
get. I have. There's a couple people I would like to bring. And I feel like it would make it more interesting, like specialists. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I have an offer marketing specialist, and I have like a creative out of the box thinker specialist. And it's like give me teammates, and we have one phone. So we don't
yep,
each get a phone, right? But like now we can kind of work as a team. Um, and we could raise the goal from $100,000 cash collected at that point. But that's how I would enjoy doing it, because that's also how I work, right? It's like
yeah,
I work with people who are smarter than me, and I bring them in to create bigger things. And yeah, so we'd have to figure out that element. Like, can I have one more person? Can I have two more people? We all have the same game, same rules, one device, the clothes on our back. But then I think it would also make it more entertaining, because now you've got different pathways being developed, and it's not just, following the one character.
yeah. I like it. I also think you could even evolve it to the next level once maybe you do the first round where there's like multiple people as like a competition. So it's like you got this
Mhm.
team and this team, the race to 100,000 in this new city. Like so
Or
now it's like
race to cash collected.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and and then we get sponsors on board, right? We get Rode and, big companies, DJI or MusicBed, or like companies that invest in creators and care about this kind of thing, and you're putting up big prizes for the winning team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, great, like, you're all coming in and you're all doing it, and I think that would be like, the YouTube series that we would create would become then the seed for the actual, like, competition, and it's like the ultimate film festival, but
Yeah.
instead, you're actually, like, showing what's possible today, and you're getting worldly experience that'll like, anybody who shows up to this thing, it's gonna change their life. Whether you're
Yeah.
a camera, whether you're on the team, whether you win, lose, fail, like, you will not operate your business anywhere close to the same. So yeah, I think we got to keep workshopping this,
Yeah, let's
and
do it.
find out how we do it. But it does sound like something we should figure out.
I love it. Patrick, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. This was awesome.
Thank you.